Наші.
Не виповза.
Його контроль.
Grenade in the front.
Back, grenade!
Ukraine continues to make active use of Foreign Legion units on the front lines of the war. These units play a significant role in operations carried out in villages along the Kursk front, one of the areas experiencing the most intense fighting. So, what are the main duties of these soldiers? Let's take a closer look together. April 9th, 2025. The Achilles Brigade, the 1st Burevi Brigade, and the 43rd Mechanized Brigade are actively operating in coordination around Stepova, Novoselivka in the Kharkiv region. These units are identifying Russian forces deployed in the area. In the footage, Russian armored vehicles are seen advancing towards Ukrainian positions amidst thick smoke. Ukrainian defense lines caused significant damage to the vehicles that had previously launched artillery attacks to stop this advance. Immediately following, FPV kamikaze drones engage with high accuracy, neutralizing at least one Russian tank. This precision strike operation significantly alters the course of the conflict in the region. At the same time, Russian forces are attempting attacks from various directions. However, simultaneous and effective fire from Ukrainian artillery weakens these attempts. Drone operators successfully destroy numerous targets through precise attacks on armored vehicles. The footage shows some Russian infantry abandoning their vehicles and dispersing into nearby buildings, wooded areas, and other protected spots. Ukrainian drone operators quickly detect these concealed units. Through heat signatures and movement tracking, the hidden Russian soldiers are identified one by one and neutralized. As previously mentioned, Ukrainian tactics primarily focus on eliminating armored units, followed by the neutralization of infantry forces in the region. Once all Russian armored vehicles in the area are destroyed, the focus shifts to the Russian infantry that have retreated to defense positions or hidden locations. Equipped with modern warfare technology, Ukrainian drone operators carefully coordinate and target these infantry units individually. By the end of the operation, all Russian elements in the area are successfully destroyed, and Ukrainian forces achieve another impressive military success. April 9th, 2025. The 65th Motorized Brigade detects a Russian soldier hiding inside a destroyed armored vehicle near the village of Robotyne in the Zaporizhia region. According to reports, the Russian infantryman is accompanied by anti-tank mines. The FPV drone operator directly targets the location of the soldier, carrying out a precise strike. The explosion caused by the anti-tank mines in the vehicle results in a massive blast, killing the Russian soldier on the spot. April 10th, 2025. Ukrainian forces detect Russian positions in the village of Goptarivka in the Kursk region. After confirming the location, Ukraine prepares to carry out an airstrike on the area. Ukrainian forces then launch the attack, successfully hitting 2 buildings in the region. After the explosion, the buildings are completely destroyed, and Russian soldiers can be seen moving around the area. Some of them are helping their comrades who are trapped under the rubble of the buildings. However, as the footage continues, we are unable to see what happens to these Russian soldiers, but the shockwave created by this attack has a significant impact.
По посадке рух. FPV-шка. В укрытие.
April 11th, 2025. The 3rd Army Unit of Ukraine begins a comprehensive operation to clear the village of Cotlin in the Donetsk region from Russian forces. The operation is being followed through footage recorded by a helmet camera. However, due to music added over the original sound recording, it is not possible to share clips from the original footage. Nevertheless, the details of the operation are being closely observed. Upon reaching the area, Ukrainian forces first observe the surroundings and adopt a cautious approach. They spend some time carefully scanning the area for potential traps or enemy interventions. During this period, they examine the terrain to gather more information on the locations of Russian positions and analyze strategic points. These careful observations are crucial for the success of the operation. After a while, Ukrainian forces move forward and quickly approach the Russian positions, starting to clear the areas they suspect. All potential hiding spots where the Russians could be are systematically cleared. Ukrainian forces carry out bomb strikes to eliminate any threats in these areas. The suspected locations are destroyed with precision, rendering the enemy forces ineffective. By the end of the operation, Cotlin village is completely cleared and freed from Russian forces. Through Ukraine's successful operation, the enemy presence in the village is eradicated. This strategic victory strengthens Ukraine's control over the region and delivers a significant blow to the Russian forces. April 11, 2025. The Mechanized Brigade carries out an attack on a Russian soldier they detect in the Luhansk region using an FPV drone. The drone hits the target, but there is no explosion. The Russian soldier likely thought he was dead at that moment. He remained still for a while, but once he realized the drone hadn't exploded, he stood up and began to flee. The drone then takes off again, chasing the Russian soldier. At that moment, the Russian soldier drops a TM-62 anti-tank mine, suggesting that he was likely there to lay mines in the area. The drone operator makes successful maneuvers and hits the Russian soldier. The explosion results in the Russian soldier's death. April 11, 2025. Ukrainian forces spot a Russian soldier hiding inside a pipe in the Toretsk region. They initially call for his surrender, but the Russian soldier refuses. Ukrainian forces then throw grenades into the pipe. After the explosions, they are unsure whether the Russian soldier is dead, but they must check. One Ukrainian soldier enters the pipe and pulls out the lifeless body of the Russian soldier. The soldier then goes back inside to check for anything he might have missed. April 12, 2025. Foreign legionnaires carry out an attack on a building used by Russian special forces in the village of Lubomivka, Kursk region. The Ukrainian forces run directly to the front door of the house. They pull the pin on a grenade, throw it inside, and immediately retreat.
Baby, back.
Back, grenade!
Then they start firing from the outside. After some time, they throw another grenade inside.
Hold on.
The operation ends successfully as the house is cleared. Foreign legionnaires in Ukraine are fighters who have volunteered from different countries and have been grouped into a special unit called the International Legion. These individuals are typically former soldiers with combat experience. Since the beginning of the war, many people from various countries have joined the unit to support Ukraine and counter Russia's attacks. The legionnaires often fight on the front lines, conduct reconnaissance missions, participate in special operations, or train Ukrainian soldiers. Some serve as snipers, while others use drones for intelligence gathering. Participation is entirely voluntary, and they undergo security checks before engaging in missions. They must follow the discipline and rules of the Ukrainian army. While there were some shortages in equipment initially, these needs have been addressed over time. The motivation of these individuals generally revolves around defending Ukraine, supporting values like freedom and democracy, and standing against Russia's expansionist policies. Ukraine views these legionnaires not only as a source of military strength, but also as a symbol of international support. April 9, 2025. West of the village of Cotlin in the Donetsk region, a group of Russian infantry is detected by Ukrainian reconnaissance teams while hiding in a building. Although the Russian soldiers are not directly visible in the video, it is clear that the Ukrainian forces have accurately identified the enemy's position. Shortly afterward, an FPV drone is deployed, directed into the building, and an explosion occurs. As a result, the Russian infantry inside the building is killed on the spot. Ukrainian forces continue their operations without pause. In another building in the same area, Russian soldiers are again detected. Once it is confirmed that all enemy units are inside the building, another FPV strike is launched. The drone enters through an opening on the roof and successfully hits the target. The explosion causes severe damage to the building, bringing it to the brink of collapse. Following this attack, the Ukrainian 152nd Brigade sends an assault group to the region. The troops enter the house and neutralize the surviving Russian soldiers who survived the explosion, taking them as prisoners. After conducting a search and initial questioning, the two surviving Russian soldiers are evacuated to a safe zone. April 9, 2025. The Bulava unit of the 72nd Mechanized Brigade detects Russian forces south of the villages of Nadiivka and Sribne in the Donetsk region. The Russian infantrymen identified in the vehicles spread out in the area, but the vehicles are abandoned instead of returning. Ukrainian forces act swiftly. The first vehicle is destroyed using an FPV drone. Following that, another Russian APC in the vicinity is identified and also destroyed as a result of the successful strikes from drone operators. Afterward, Ukrainian forces launch an attack against the Russian infantry that arrived in the area with these vehicles. The detected Russian soldiers are directly destroyed by drones. Unable to offer any resistance, the Russian forces are eliminated one by one. A short time later, other Russian armored vehicles appear in the vicinity. Ukrainian drone operators aim to prevent these vehicles from reaching their intended position without delay. These two vehicles are equipped to resist drone attacks. The Russian vehicles, advancing confidently, are hit by drone strikes, with one of them rendered immobile. The other continues on its path. Ukrainian forces continue launching successive attacks, ultimately destroying this Russian vehicle as well. The cage armor added to Russian vehicles stands out as a countermeasure, especially against the kamikaze drones extensively used by Ukraine. However, the effectiveness of this armor is highly debated. In reality, these cage armors aim to reduce the impact of drone strikes, rather than completely preventing them. Since FPV attack drones are highly accurate and fast, it's difficult for a simple metal cage to stop them. While the armor may cause the explosion to occur a few centimeters away from the vehicle's body, it offers only limited protection. Ukrainian forces work with drone operators specially trained to deal with such armored vehicles, typically targeting weak points, angles from beneath the armor, open sections, or more vulnerable areas like the engine compartment. Moreover, in many cases, the cage armor limits the vehicle's mobility, narrows the operator's field of view, and creates additional burden for the operators. Some Russian soldiers have even referred to this armor as a coffin cage, which has been reported in the media. April 10, 2025, the 4th Ranger Special Forces Battalion begins an operation to clear the settlement of Lochnia in the Sumy region. Ukrainian forces arrive in the area with a T-64BV tank and immediately open fire on enemy positions. After the explosion, a surviving Russian soldier is captured by Ukrainian infantry. As the captured Russian soldier is evacuated, Ukrainian drone operators conduct attacks on other suspicious houses. Already destroyed houses are completely obliterated due to the impact of the explosion. If there are any documents or identification on the neutralized Russian soldiers, they are checked. Ukrainian soldiers search the bodies of the killed Russian soldiers for several important reasons. The primary reason is to gather intelligence. Items like maps, orders, notebooks, mobile phones, or digital storage devices can provide valuable information regarding the Russian army's plans, unit locations, and communication structure. April 10, 2025. The artillery units of the 61st Motorized Brigade detect Russian infantry and their hiding bunkers in the Kursk region. As a result of intelligence work, Ukrainian forces verify the positions of Russian elements in the area and then launch a large-scale operation. After confirming the exact locations of the enemy, Ukrainian artillery units begin targeting them. To enhance the effectiveness of the operation, Ukrainian forces use drones to provide real-time enemy information to the artillery units. This allows the artillery to conduct more precise and effective attacks on the positions of Russian forces and bunkers. Air support plays a crucial role in the success of the operation, as real-time data ensures that artillery strikes are directed at the correct targets. After the attacks, Russian soldiers try to quickly flee the area or hide in different locations. However, since Ukrainian forces are very familiar with the region, they continuously monitor potential hiding spots for Russian troops and quickly identify them. Due to the limited number of places to hide in the area, it becomes much easier for Ukraine to locate the escape routes of the Russian soldiers. As a result, this successful operation conducted by Ukrainian forces leads to the destruction of Russian infantry and their bunkers in the area. The Russian presence in the region is largely eradicated, and Ukraine achieves a strategic victory. April 10, 2025. The Raid Battalion, together with the 78th Airborne Regiment, detects a Russian Buk M Buk-M2 air defense system in the Kursk region. The system is positioned stationary in a wooded area, carefully monitoring the region. Additionally, another Russian Buk-M3 system is detected in the area, similarly positioned. This indicates that the Russians are effectively using natural cover to conceal and protect their air defense systems. Following this discovery, Ukrainian forces quickly moved to neutralize the Russian Buk-M2 by launching a drone attack. The Buk-M2 is rendered ineffective as a result of the strike. Then, the Russian Buk-M3 in the same area is targeted and successfully destroyed. The intensity of the explosion triggers the ammunition of the Buk-M3, causing the blast's effect to escalate, and the surrounding area suffers significant destruction. However, Ukrainian forces' success doesn't end there. Another Russian Buk-M3 system is detected. After the first attack, this Russian armored air defense vehicle attempts to flee, but the Ukrainian drone operator quickly pursues the Russian vehicle to prevent its escape. The drone operator carefully approaches the target and delivers a precise strike, destroying this Russian Buk-M3 as well. Ukraine has shown a highly determined and strategic stance against one of Russia's most critical air defense systems, the Buk-M2 and Buk-M3. To eliminate the threats posed by these systems on the front lines, the Ukrainian armed forces have achieved significant successes by focusing on intelligence-supported targeting methods, drone reconnaissance, and high-precision strikes. The effectiveness of Ukraine in this regard is evident in the rapid destruction of Russian air defense systems. Especially with the involvement of HIMARS, the locations of Buk-M2 and Buk-M3 batteries are quickly identified, and attacks on these systems can be carried out at high speed. Ukraine plays a vital role in balancing Russia's air superiority by continuously monitoring the areas where these air defense systems are stationed. Furthermore, with the technical support received from NATO and Western allies, Ukraine has developed effective countermeasures against these defense systems by analyzing the radar traces of the Buk systems. As a result, Ukraine has gained a significant strategic advantage in neutralizing these air defense systems.